Welcome to Etihad Focus, your number one spot for the latest match updates, transfer news, and inside training coverage. If you love football, you're in the right place. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any breaking updates. Let's get started. Gives you hope. Tyrone Samba takes Man City chance to earn Pep Guardiola call. Manchester City youngster Tyrone Samba has been called up to Pep Guardiola's squad for the first time after 2 goals against Arsenal. It's amazing because you see that there is that chance of getting there. It gives you hope to keep on going and try as hard as you can every single day. It just gives you something to work towards when you see your teammates making their debuts. So spoke Tyrone Samba on Friday night as the Manchester City youngster reflected on Pep Guardiola giving debuts to academy players. 4 days on, the 18-year-old could be the next one turning out off the academy production line. City would rather have a stronger squad in Norway for their 7th Champions League game this season as they look to seal a knockout spot for the next round. A curious mix of absences means they are missing 10 senior stars, 11 if you count Marc Guehi, for a game on an artificial pitch in freezing conditions. It will nevertheless be another proud day for the academy. Charlie Gray, Divine Mukasa, Max Alain, Kian Noble, Stephen Mafuni join Samba in a 21-man squad, while if you include James Trafford, Phil Foden, Nico O'Reilly and Rico Lewis, you have 10 academy graduates who have made the trip. Guardiola can be dismissive of the games that the under-20s play, given it is nowhere near as testing as, for example, the Spanish youth system where the City boss came through. However, Gray and Mafuni got their senior debuts after impressing for the under-19s against Real Madrid, and Samba was the star for the under-18s last week in a thumping 5-2 win over Arsenal in the FA Youth Cup. Samba's story is fascinating in itself, and even more so as part of the wider picture at the City Football Academy. The teenager is the son of former professional defender Christopher Samba, and his younger brother Floyd, 16, has also come through the age groups with him and played alongside him in midfield on Friday night. "I'm very happy with the family," Coach Ollie Rice said after the game. They are not even the only footballing brothers in City's academy with an ex-pro for a dad, given Jadon and Ryan Heskey have both made their debuts for the senior team this season. Until 2023, former United midfielder Darren Fletcher's sons, Jack and Tyler, were also young Blues. The Samba boys get debriefs from their dad after every game in video calls, telling them what they did well and how they can improve. Judging by the way they combined to down Arsenal, the brothers working together is a big help for City. It's great to play with him. We've been playing together since we were young, so I haven't thought much about it, but it is a crazy thing that we are playing with each other in big games like this. It could get even crazier if the older brother ends up making an appearance in Bodo, but if he does, it will be reward for the progress that he has made through the middle. While normally a winger, he has been used more as a number 10 this season, and both the player and his coach like what they see. Guardiola clearly does too, calling Samba up to the squad for their Champions League game to help cover for all of their absentees. All he will ask is that if the forward does come on, he doesn't stop working for another chance. Pep Guardiola gives telling response amid Manchester City transfer chants. He says, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola spoke about Oscar Bob's injury and transfer situation with a move on the cards. Pep Guardiola gave an abrupt response to questions about Oscar Bob as Manchester City came to Norway without him. The 22-year-old has not featured for the Blues since coming off inside 20 minutes in the League Cup win over Brentford in December. Guardiola has suggested since that the player's injury was not helped by him not being ready to play, and was in even less of a mood to discuss the winger as City arrived in the country where Bob hails from. Asked about his injury, the manager said, "He says he's not fit, so he's not fit." Bob has fallen down the pecking order at City after failing to impress this season. He missed the chance to shine when given a rare start in the Champions League game at home to Leverkusen. After being taken off at half-time in that game, he was excluded from a number of squads after that before being reinstated for the Brentford match. City have been willing to let Bob leave this month, either on loan or for a permanent deal, and the signing of Antoine Semenyo provides further competition for him to make it at the Etihad. Guardiola said he had no idea if Bob would leave in the January transfer window in a dismissive response. While Bob is not playing through injury, Phil Foden could feature for City on Tuesday, despite breaking a bone in his hand during the Manchester derby. Guardiola said on Saturday that his half-time substitution had not been down to injury, but it turns out that the 25-year-old has suffered a fracture, but has strapped it up and is available for selection. City are looking to move closer to securing a top 8 finish in their game with Bodo/Glimt on Tuesday tea time. They currently sit in 4th place in the 36-team table and can put one foot in the last 16 ahead of their final match in this first phase at home to Galatasaray next week. Marc Guehi private jet aborts landing as he travels for Manchester City medical. Marc Guehi has travelled to the northwest to complete his £20 million move from Crystal Palace to Manchester City, but there was some slight drama as he made his way to his new home. Marc Guehi's private jet was forced to ditch its original landing after flying the defender to Manchester. The England star is on the verge of a move to Manchester City, with Palace having accepted a £20 million bid for his services. Guehi was left out of the Eagles' side that lost 2-1 to Sunderland on Saturday and is expected to undergo his medical on Sunday. But it wasn't all straightforward for him as he flew to Manchester to complete the formalities. Guehi flew from London on Sunday morning on a private jet, only for the flight to abandon its landing moments before it touched down in Manchester. Plane spotters suggested that a larger jet moved onto the runway, forcing the plane carrying Guehi to climb and loop around the city, including over the Etihad stadium. The jet eventually came to a safe landing, with Guehi being whisked off to complete the final details of his move. He is expected to sign a 5.5-year deal with City, with Palace forced to sell due to his contract expiring in the summer. Guehi was previously on the verge of a move to Liverpool last year, only for the deal to collapse at the 11th hour. If all goes through as expected, he will become City's second major addition of the window, following the signing of Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth. His exit comes amid a difficult time for Palace, with boss Oliver Glasner having confirmed he too will leave at the end of the season. The Austrian also tore into club chiefs for the decision to allow Guehi to leave. He said, "We feel like we're being abandoned completely, selling our captain one day before a game. There is no understanding for this. We are preparing, and then yesterday, Friday, I get told that our captain will be sold. But why not next week? At least he can play this game, and then next week other players are coming back. It makes me really upset. If your heart gets ripped out twice a year, with Eberechi ease one day before a game in the summer, and your captain one day before a game, I've just got no understanding." "I heard yesterday at 10:30 a.m. for the first time that we were selling Marc," Glasner added. "I think the negotiations were a few days long, so nobody would have called at 10 a.m, and by 10:30 a.m, everything was agreed. Then we have to deal with it. One day before a game, we have to come to Sunderland, when we know we're not on the best run. We know the circumstances with no players available, and we're selling our captain. No team would do this. Other teams, the players play, and then the next day, they're leaving, and we are selling the day before." Pep Guardiola has already won over Manchester United. Transfer target's mum, Manchester City boss. Pep Guardiola was clear about his admiration of an English talent, who is also being eyed up by Manchester United. Pep Guardiola has already made his thoughts clear on Manchester United target Alex Scott by paying him the ultimate compliment.